Welcome to the Once Upon a Sunday Fantasy Football Podcast with your hosts, Josh Kimmel, Dave Campbell, and Justin Bowerly.
On a Sunday Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Josh. I am back. I know Justin was the host on Friday. If you didn't know we're live on Fridays, yes, that's the thing now, moving forward up until the season starts. Tonight, though, we are talking about the NFC and AFC North divisions. We're going to be talking about the studs, the duds, the sleepers, all kinds of news and notes at a training camp. But before we get into that, let's introduce my guys. We have two of them tonight. We have old faithful Justin Bowerly, and of course, special appearance, special attraction, Viking Dave. What's going on? What's going on, Viking Dave?
Nothing, just running the pack four, as we call it.
Oh my God! Get out of here! Get out of here!
He is the king of the listen.
College football is back, and it's awesome. So.
Yes, we've been playing in
Power 5 school. Josh and I have a Group 5 school that we moved.
Those are the teams you guys gave me options to. Honestly, I would have taken a worse team.
Well, that was at the beginning of the season. We were like, I'm really trash at this. I play on varsity. I blah 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 blah.
I was, and I first of all,
let's give Dave the good school.
I barely beat you, even with my.
Hey, you're right. He does have this good school. For those of you who don't know, we do an online dynasty. The Pac-12 are making it great again. There's four of us. I'm Fresno State. Justin's San Jose. Dave is, who are you? Oregon State?
Oregon State.
And then our producer, Jacob, he is Washington State.
Yeah. Last night's game was lit, though. Listen, a night game at Oregon State in a big crowd.
Rush.
We were both wearing Color Rush jerseys. That was
pretty awesome.
Lit.
Nobody cares about our dynasty, but pro tip, if you are running a dynasty on PlayStation, Xbox, whatever your console, if you're not streaming your games for the boys or for the girls,
step it up.
Step it up. Stream those games. I put those games on the big screen, watch my boys play. It was fun watching Dave beat Justin last night.
After the opening kickoff return for a touchdown.
Oh, my God.
I was so mad.
Man, I fumbled that game just like the Bears did in the Super Bowl, man. Like... ran the kickoff back, just straight up lost after that.
All right, before we get to the show,
anyways, go ahead,
I do have to do some housekeeping. Make sure you're following us on all social media platforms at OUSFFPod. Go to our website, OUSFFPod.com. We will be updating our rankings weekly after the preseason week, of course. So keep in touch with our rankings over there. Anything else to plug, Justin? Oh, hold on. We doubled our size in subscribers overnight, and it was bananas. I don't know what happened. I didn't host the show after that. It was the Friday episode I missed.
Is that why you asked me if I wanted to host the show tonight?
I mean, maybe. So thank you to all those new subscribers. Make sure you tell a friend, and if you're new to this and you're just now watching on X or YouTube or wherever we are, hit that subscribe button. We'll be here all season long, and we have been for a very long time. All right, let's get right into it, man. We have some news and notes out of training camp. Brandon Ayuk has been.
Yeah. You can talk.
That right there is like new. You should have
It's not blocking you. It's not blocking anything. But I did fail that part. There we go.
But he failed that part. 49ers have negotiated the frameworks of trades with both Cleveland Browns and the New England Patriots. Both have pulled out. That's what she said. Serious talks with the Steelers are apparently ongoing.
I heard the Patriots made the best offer for money, and Ayuk said no. He doesn't want to go there.
So I have some notes from our social media manager, Sean, who is a huge 49ers fan, and we have been talking back and forth about a lot of this because if you talk to like the Steelers beat reporters, they're like, nothing's a deal. But if you look at that pretty rookie guy on Twitter, he basically has called all of the trades and deals and everything for people with a very specific sports agency that Brandon Ayuk also happens to be a part of, and he says that the Steelers are happening. But agent has confirmed no deal. Schefter said that the 49ers now there's no rush, and that Pittsburgh's Pickens in a second round pick is not going to happen. Rappaport said that it's likely going to take a first and a second or a second and a third.
No way.
And they are requiring a top receiver in return.
That's bananas.
That's a
To me.
lot. I mean, I think he's really
And-
good. So, but
I mean,
still.
he's good, but like, is he top 10 good? Like, we don't consider him as a top 10 wide receiver
no,
in
but
fantasy.
I think he's top 15 to 20 overall.
I would put him in 15 to 20 range. I could legitimately do that. But
I mean, that's
I'd
pretty freaking good.
probably like 12 to 17 range.
Yeah,
I just
probably.
there is a window in San Francisco, and that window is right now, and they need every single piece. It really surprises me that they're not trying to work some kind of deal out, but maybe this is an all-in year, and they force him to play and don't trade him. They don't give him a new contract, and he plays as a 49er this year. But that's what I would lean towards.
Well, let's look at the fantasy aspect of this. They mentioned teams like the Cleveland Browns, New England Patriots. To me, those are teams I don't want him to go to for fantasy purposes. But Pittsburgh could be a good landing spot as they seem stable. They seem like a well-ran organization. Russell Wilson's competent. He's not who he was before, but that'd be a good spot for Brandon Ayuk. But is the better spot for fantasy still with the San Francisco 49ers, Dave?
1,000%. 49ers. I mean, if he's proven it now, he's already proven it. Back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, 1,300 yards last year. The offense is awesome. Of course, we want him there in an ideal scenario. But I mean, if he hasn't come to practice yet, at this point, it doesn't look like he's coming in. So I don't know what San Francisco's plans are. I don't know how you can just either let him go into the season with this high demand. Usually at this point, you kind of lose a little bit of leverage, but maybe they're just going to stick to their guns. I don't really know the plan, but yeah, I'd rather him stay in San Francisco 100%.
I have a little rebuttal per usual. Is that really his ceiling spot though in San Fran? Because he is tied down by the other weapons around him, including the wonderful CMC and Debo Samuel and George Kittle. Or if he went somewhere like Cleveland with an aging Amari Cooper, now he gets the spotlight because you would think he would take over that number one role automatically with really no competition but Amari Cooper. Or you look at somewhere with the New England Patriots where there's nobody. He's the only man there that can demand number one targets. Wouldn't that be a higher ceiling, Justin?
I think the Patriots would be a spot. I think the Patriots are a team that you're going to get your money from at this point because it's not a Bill Belichick Patriots team anymore. So they're probably going to. I mean, who else are they spending money on? That's the real thing. And if he went to the Patriots, that boosts Drake May's stock up in fantasy because now he would actually have a legitimate wide receiver option. I think the Steelers are still probably the best team to go to if he leaves the 49ers. Of the three that we're talking about, there's obviously a lot of teams that I would love to see him on fantasy-wise, but of those three, Steelers is probably going to be the top fantasy option. It's just weird to me that the Steelers usually trade away their good wide receivers. They don't usually trade for good wide receivers. So that to me is a different Mike Tomlin Steelers team.
Wide receiver you over there, man. They always put out some good wide receivers. All right, moving on to the next news. Yes, I'm going to skip this one because let's stay in San Francisco. CMC, and we'll get to the other one, Justin. But CMC was injured, suffered a strained calf during practice on Sunday, likely to miss all the preseason and a few weeks of practice. Are we worried yet? No,
Not yet.
Not yet.
If we had
if
a
it's
draft,
still an issue in 4 weeks, okay, I might be a little bit worried.
hold on. If we had a draft this upcoming Saturday, would he still be your 101? I know, Dave. We have a draft coming on Saturday.
I don't have no. We're playing poker for a 101.
Okay.
Probably yes, because it sounds like it's minor, but it's noteworthy and it's scary. And we know running backs always get injured more, and as much as he gets used, like all of the red flags are there, but then you're like, it's Christian McCaffrey. Like, I don't care about the red flags. And I 100% get that too. So yes, he's still the 101 for me for this weekend until, in 3 weeks, like Justin said, 3-4 weeks, if things change and he's still, they're saying, oh, he's questionable for week one, then you got to start worrying about dragging into the season and who knows what's going to happen. But for this minute, I'm not going to freak out yet. He's still my 101.
It's so scary. This is more of a stop drafting before preseason, guys. I don't know why our giant home league with a big prize and a lot of fun friends.
That's our most expensive league too.
Yes, and I didn't want to put monetary value on it, but yes, it's our most expensive league, and we're drafting before one single preseason game. If you don't count the, well, are there games Friday?
There's games tomorrow night.
Okay, well then
And
I
Friday,
lied.
probably,
There's
yeah.
going to be a couple games that are played, but we're
Yeah.
drafting our most expensive, most prestigious league before the preseason week 1. It's kind of ridiculous. I hope you guys hear this. So Christian McCaffrey, I'm not worried yet. I'd still draft him 101. If you were drafting on Saturday like an idiot.
Yeah.
All right, Josh Downs. Josh Downs, high ankle sprain after a weird tackle on 7-7 drills. That's the way you spelt it, Justin.
Shut up.
Expected to miss 4-6 weeks. Potentially will start the season on the PUP. This is a drag. This is a bummer. Justin.
4 to 6 weeks. Is that what they said?
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't heard that yet.
Well, you heard it here first.
The regular season is in 4 weeks. So I'm not as worried as a lot of people on Twitter might be. To me, in my opinion, worst case scenario is it's 6 weeks. I mean, I guess technically worst case scenario is it's a lingering injury that he has to have surgery in like 5 weeks and he misses the entire season. That's absolute worst case scenario. But we've seen guys come back from ankle sprains, high ankle sprains, literally the next week. We've seen guys come back in 4 to 5 weeks. I mean, we don't know yet. None of us are doctors. I'm not going to worry about it yet. I'd still draft him. He's still going to be valuable. And while Josh Downs is potentially maybe missing the first week or 2 of the season, that opens it up for guys like A.D. Mitchell, Anthony Gould, Alec Pierce, of course, Michael Pittman. So the rest of that Colts offense will be fine. And they might even be slightly more productive, but I'm not worried about it.
The only thing is just Pittman doesn't have that upside. Josh Downs does. You know, he's just so. Dave, are you worried about Josh Downs?
No, because you're not drafting him to start. Even if you drafted him,
you know you just did. Josh, you know exactly what you just.
We know exactly. I know what he did. It's hilarious.
I don't know what you're talking about. He has no upside.
You're not drafting him to start him. You're drafting him to be your wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5. So you can wait, a handful of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks into the regular season. It's not a big deal.
Downs
unless they said something
anyway,
changes.
So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're not even drafting him as a flex. You're drafting him on your bench, most likely. So you can afford to wait a couple weeks for him to come back.
This would be a player that if we were doing the South today could be a sleeper pick, by the definition of sleeper picks, because this is a guy you're drafting to be on your bench, but he does have a lot of upside to make big plays and could score a lot of points and could end up potentially scoring 10, 15 points a game, which is something that's going to be great coming off of your bench.
All right. Next news, we have Puka Nacua. He was injured or considered week to week after suffering a knee injury during Sunday's practice. One source says it's not serious. When I hear knees on wide receivers that rely on fast switch movements and change of direction, I do get worried, even though I know joints hurt. And if he's hurt in the knee, it's going to really, 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 really hurt his upside. Are you guys worried still drafting in the first, second round? Like, I'm just saying, if you had a draft Saturday, I know I keep on bringing that up, but if you had a draft Saturday,
I wouldn't be drafting him in the first or second round anyway. So, but that's because I'm a Puka hater, and I don't think he's going to be nearly as productive as he was last year.
You hate Cup and Puka, so who's going to catch the ball? Like, well, what's your plan?
1,000 balls.
No, it's just
who's your go-to? Tutu Atwell.
Puka's not going to get the same amount of targets as he was now that Cooper is apparently 100% healthy and ready to go for a full production of a season. I think Cup played 12 games, which, okay, he missed 5, but that means Puka's targets from 5 of those games aren't going to be there. Like, the same amount of target share. He's not going to have the same kind of target share to put up wide receiver 1 numbers again. We see this from rookie wide receivers all the time. They have a great rookie season and then they fall off their sophomore year.
Yep, it happens. Hopefully it doesn't happen to Puka. I'm going to break up the news real quick with a little trivia. Just break it up to have fun. So this quarterback has been in the league since 2018. Tell me when's the last time he threw for double-digit touchdowns in a single season? He's been in the league since 2018. And who is it? I'm sorry.
Do we get clues or something, or are we just supposed to randomly
No.
pick out?
Random.
So
He's been in the league since 2018.
Okay.
That's your clue.
Uh-huh.
He's only okay. I'll give you this. He's been on 4 teams.
Okay, I got you.
And he has thrown double digit. I'll tell you this. He's only thrown
For some
double
reason,
digit.
2018 does not. I feel
He's
like
only
he's
thrown
been in the
double
league
digits.
longer than that.
He's only.
I know who it is.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure I know who it is too.
Say who it is.
This is too easy. You're stupid.
Say who it is.
It's
Who is
Sam Darnold, probably.
Sam Darnold,
Yeah,
baby.
it's Sam
I already
Darnold.
knew as soon as you started talking shit about him. I knew what you were doing.
When's the last time he's thrown for double-digit touchdowns in a single
Probably
season?
like 2018 or 2019.
2019, probably.
2019.
Yeah,
That's the
I
last
know.
time this man has thrown. For,
How's that
was just
trivia?
for-
How's that trivia? You're an
because
idiot.
you asked me if you had trivia before the show, and I saw that Sam Darnold was in our news, and I'm like, oh shoot, I'm talking shit about Sam Darnold on a whole notepad today, so I can't wait to bring this trivia up. That's why I wanted to do it before the Sam Darnold news. I apologize, but yeah, Sam Darnold is officially.
I bet you he throws double digits this year. You want to bet it? Bet me.
That's what I was telling Josh. Josh texted me that literally like that stat, and I was like,
No, I
yeah,
text you another
but-
stat. No, I text you another stat.
"You literally text me." Sam
Don't-
Darnold hasn't thrown
don't-
for double-digit touchdowns in a single season since 2019. Quote. And I'm
I did
like,
text him that.
I'm just like,
was a
yeah,
strat.
but who did he have? Robbie Anderson? Like, he didn't have Justin
Chosen?
Jefferson.
Chosen Anderson. Listen,
Well,
that's
at
pretty
that
pathetic.
time, it was Robbie
That's
Anderson.
still pretty pathetic to
Well,
think
he was a
that he
backup
would,
last year. Before that, Carolina's a shit show. I don't even know what he was doing before that. The Jets are always a shit show.
I'm just
It's
saying,
okay.
like,
It's all right.
I'm not trashing the guy who's just working in the news. Let's get into the news.
Oh, you're
Sam
kinda
Darnold
trashing
has
him. It's
unofficially
okay.
been named the starting quarterback for your Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
Let's go,
Let's go.
baby.
Skull
Let's
clap it.
go.
Let's go.
Are you hyped, Dave? For real? Like, are you happier with this, or would you rather see the rookie go?
No. Well, okay. Would I like to see JJ McCarthy play? Yes, because everybody's excited. So 100%. But I'm not disappointed in this because I've expected this since before we drafted him. I've been on multiple shows and I've said the same thing. Whoever comes in, whoever it is we drafted, I don't care who. Unless it was maybe Caleb Williams. I don't think that they were going to start the guy. It doesn't matter who it is. That's not the plan. The GM doesn't want that. The coach doesn't want that. Now, I've said there's three ways. I think I posted this in our chat. I don't know if you remember it. I think there's 3 ways McCarthy plays. Oh, and I was on a podcast last week and they asked what's the over under on Darnold starting 6.5 games. I said, no, he's going to start every game. And I honestly truly believe that unless Darnold's terrible, which that could happen. There's 100% that could happen. He could be terrible and they could be 1-4 and going into the bye and they say, okay, we got to switch it up. 2, it's a little bit of an extension of that. The team is just that bad. It's December. They're 4-8 and they say, maybe Darnold has been okay, like serviceable, but they're like, all right, like he's obviously not our future. Let's get JJ in there for a month and see how he plays. This is honestly the best case scenario. JJ McCarthy is just amazing, and they have no choice but to put him in. I just don't think that's happening. That's not the plan unless he just shines. And I've seen some highlights, and of course I'm going to get excited when I see highlights. Everybody does, but I'm tempering all those expectations because I don't think he plays this year. If he does, it's going to be very limited. I think that's just the plan. I think that's been the plan the whole time. They want Darnold to play. He's looked good in practice. I get it as practice. We'll see what happens when the games start counting for real. But that's my idea.
This is your bridge player. I mean, it's your bridge quarterback. We saw it with the Chiefs and Alex Smith and then Patrick Mahomes. Apparently, people on Twitter are comparing JJ McCarthy as the new Patrick Mahomes. So I had to make that comparison here. Let him sit. Like, there's nothing wrong with letting him sit for a year and learning and developing.
100%.
Yep, we hear you loud and clear. No, we don't hear Justin, so I'm going to go ahead and step
Yeah,
in.
he broke up for a second.
Oh my God.
That literally your entire point was unheard, and you weren't even like glitching in and out. Like,
You know what's funny? I thought it was me at first because I know I've had issues in the past. I guess it's not, so I'm glad.
You were just like,
so when Dave was
talking,
I couldn't hear Dave, but I could hear. I could see saw Josh go. I was like, I'll just go with it.
Great point. That was the greatest point. No one's ever.
What did you guys
ever gonna
actually
argue
hear?
that point ever.
What'd you hear?
Literally nothing. Literally nothing.
Oh my god.
Oh, I heard you say something about JJ McCarthy was compared to Mahomes, like on Twitter.
Yeah,
it was like all
people.
No. It was, you said it well the first time. You said it well. Leave it be. Sam Darnold also has never thrown for more than 4,000 yards in a season. He's only thrown for 3,000 yards 1 year, once. So let's see how this goes. I just can't imagine a world, and I'm on record saying that Justin Jefferson's going to eat no matter what. Like no matter what. A little worried about everyone else on that team because of Sam Darnold. Let's move on. We have the entire. Let me tell you something. The entire NFC North and AFC North covered from ear to ear, side to side, whatever you want to say. We have every stud you could think of. Listen, we're about to go through them all and tell you who you should draft in fantasy football. This is the positive portion of the show. So we're going to start number 1. I don't know who came up with these ranks. We have them ranked 1 to 8. Is that a significant?
I think Jacob picked them based off of how we have them positionally ranked from the divisions or from each of the positions.
So we have Lamar Jackson as the most valuable player coming out of the NFC or AFC North. He's awesome. He's a cheat code. Super flex. Of course, I would argue this all day. Super flex. He's going to be number 1 out of anyone on this list. We're not playing super flex in casual leagues. I'm surprised he's our number 1, but I'm excited for it. I love Lamar Jackson. Love the offense that they're going to run this year. I love that they're going to let him throw it more, get it more open, and put Likely more in there. We already hearing some whispers of Mr. Bateman coming back to life. I'm excited for Lamar Jackson. I'm excited. I am so excited for Lamar Jackson in this offense. Why are you shaking your head, Justin? You're not excited? You don't share the love?
No, the whole Bateman
Bateman. But people are talking about it again. It's becoming one of those it's becoming the Ronald Jones joke.
I'm just going to say, don't draft Bateman. I don't care who tells you to draft him. Do not do it. The guy's dead. He's a bum. He's proven it. He's been in the league long enough.
We're talking studs and we're positive, Dave. So I need you to calm down and talk good about Lamar.
On to the next one.
Yeah, on to the next one.
Lamar Jackson's great. He's great.
Justin Jefferson. Are you worried? We just talked about how Sam Darnold's trash. He's not going to hurt.
He's trash. You should not draft Justin Jefferson. If you're in my league, you should not draft Justin Jefferson. That's all I'm going to say.
Are you? Is there a little bit of like, oh man, like the Garrett Wilson thing? When we saw Zach Wilson play, Garrett Wilson did suffer. I mean, Garrett Wilson suffered a ton. Are you still worried? I'm being dead serious. Are you worried a little bit that he's gonna decline a little? Like not 1,800 yards, maybe only 1,200 yards.
You asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you. You're the Vikings guy.
No, I'm not worried. We just saw what he did last year in 10 games without not all of them with Cousins. He had 1,000 yards. He's one of like 3 players in NFL history to play 10 games and have 1,000 yards. He played with Joshua Dobbs, Jaron Hall, and Nick Mullins. Two of those guys probably shouldn't even be in the league. Like Mullins is an okay backup. That's what he is. Like, let's be honest. He still balled out. He's still Justin Jefferson. He's still the best receiver in the league. And I'm taking him at 102. So you can or you can't.
Yeah. Justin, number 3, we have Amon-Ra St. Brown, the Sun God. Have you watched the Netflix series? Wide receiver?
I have not. I need to. I haven't even watched quarterback, so I'm like way behind on the times.
Yeah, Amon-Ra is just a stud. No competition there in Detroit. Going to eat up everything. I asked a guest a couple of weeks ago, would you draft Amon-Ra, whatever. He said no. But let me tell you something. I say yes. I'm drafting him over Jamar Chase, which is our next guy. Jamar Chase is an absolute super stud. We have him ranked super high, of course. Justin's a hater. Don't listen to him. Dave, are you taking Jamar Chase or Amon-Ra?
I'm going Chase. I know that you don't agree with me, but I'm going with Chase.
Is that strictly because of the 40-point games he can put up? I mean, Amon-Ra could do the same thing.
Listen, I love Amon-Ra. I really, really, really do. He's one of the top 5 receivers. He's super consistent. He's going to catch 100 however many balls. So he's awesome. And this is more of, I guess, I like to go for the moon. And I think Chase, his upside is wide receiver 1, like 1,900 yards. I think he's that good. I think he's as good as any other guys in the league. Not that I don't think Amon-Ra's not, because I think he's really good. He's just a different role. And that doesn't mean he's not awesome, because he is. I just think Chase was where I get risky. I like to get risky, and Chase is the guy that I like to shoot for the moon with, because I think he could be the wide receiver one. That's how good he is.
Well,
that's all.
Have you heard
Don't
the
get me
music?
wrong.
Oh, go ahead.
I love Jamar Chase. As a
No, you
Bengals fan,
don't.
I love
you don't.
Jamar
No, you
Chase
don't.
and Joe Burrow. I just had a bold prediction that he won't finish as a top 12 wide receiver this year. And if we're asking between Jamar Chase or Amon-Ra St. Brown, I'm going to go for the player that's scoring 15 to 25 points every week. Jamar Chase, yeah, he can put up that 52-point game in week 5 against Arizona. But he's also putting up a lot of single-digit games as well, and that's going to really hurt you.
That's true. He does put up a lot of single-digit games. And those single-digit games crush your week. But those 40-point games, which are more rare,
Yeah, make it
win you
great.
the week. Listen,
So
I love Mark.
it's when his ceiling is high, it's high. When it's low, it's very low. At least on Amon-Ra, you know exactly what you're getting. That's 15 to 25 points.
Dude, it's so nice. And this goes for all fantasy. When you have that one person, you don't have to ever change. He's just your wide receiver or whatever, stays there all season. This is bye week. You take him out 1 week and you put him right back in. You don't ever have to mess with him. I'm not saying because you're always going to start Chase, but man, those 4-point games.
Sometimes you have to worry.
Brutal. It's like the second quarter. You're like, yeah, I haven't seen him on TV once. What's going on? All right. Not that he does it a lot. Sam Laporta, we have at number 5. He's awesome. Scores 1 million touchdowns. Right behind Amon-Ra St. Brown in targets, I believe, this going to the season. But we have him above Mark Andrews, who's our number 6. This tells me something. If Hawkinson was truly healthy, would he be over both of those guys, Dave?
I think Hawkinson was more. I mean, he was the tight end one until he got hurt last year, wasn't he? I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, with the new offense, you never know. Who knows with Darnold or JJ? Like, I think tight ends can either just stay as good. Can be changed. Like Justin Jefferson's gonna get his. Like we already know that. And yeah, I do think Hawkinson would have been awesome. Laporta, everybody's excited because he's a young up and comer, and he is a stud. I don't think he finishes at the tight end one again. The touchdowns were super high, but that doesn't mean he's not gonna be good. I think I ranked him 2 or 3. I don't even remember. So he's still gonna be awesome. Just the touchdowns, man. Oh, and you know what? I saw a stat, and I forget what it was. I think all his touchdowns came in like 4 games. Like he had a bunch of big touchdown games. Yeah. So not that that's a bad thing. You like that, but spread them out a little bit. You know what I mean? That's all.
Yep. I agree. Mark Andrews, though, he's a touchdown machine, and he is guaranteed touchdowns when he plays with Lamar Jackson. Those two just work magic together. I remember Justin schooling me on this about 3 episodes ago, where I was against Mark Andrews, and you're like, but they always score touchdowns, and I'm like, no, they don't. And then I looked, and I didn't tell you like live, but I said, yeah, they do. They do. So I like Mark Andrews a lot now. Going to our only running back on this list, which is telling about the North. The running backs are very weak. Jahmyr Gibbs, we have 7, even with the limited touchdown upside that he does not bring because David Montgomery's there. He still made the list in the top 8 players of the NFC and AFC North. I would love to see Jahmyr Gibbs without David Montgomery for half a season to see what happens. Just a half a season. And I'm a big Monty fan ever since 2012. Ever since 2002, baby. I'm on that bandwagon since he's been born. Dave knows. And he's fine. You know what's funny? He came around this season. We were talking privately, and he goes, man, Monty's getting good. Like, I don't know what to do. Remember that conversation?
Yeah, I do. I remember. But, okay, this is my thing with Gibbs. I saw someone on Twitter, I think, say this, and I agree a lot with it. Gibbs is like Kamara, and I agree with it a lot, which is why I think Montgomery needs to be there, because if you overload Gibbs with all of the extra work, he probably could break down. He's not a huge guy, but he's great at what he does. He almost had 1,000 yards rushing and receiving. Like, he's awesome. He's freaking good. And I don't think you want to overload him with too much more work. We all want that until, he's out because he can't handle the workload. I think he's good in the role he has. The Lions have a good thing going. Yes, we would hope for maybe a few more rushing touchdowns. Like, we want some of those. But I think if you took Montgomery away, one, I don't know if the offense is going to be as good. And you might just kill Gibbs, which can either be a good thing or a bad thing. But I think he's in a really good situation as he is now.
No, all right. And then the last to round it up, Cody Rhodes himself, Joe Burrow, number 8. We have him at number 8. I do like this. Yeah, Joe Burrow. He's our number 8, Dave. He's so solid if he's healthy, but he hasn't been healthy in a long time. And someone told me or convinced me that his wrist is going to be a problem because, it's hard to get that throwing wrist healthy, like all the way healthy, fully healthy. I am worried about that every time he makes a throw. It's kind of like when Tua came back, not to the extent, but when Tua came back last year and we were all wincing every single play the first couple games. I don't want to be doing that with my starting quarterback in fantasy football. I will draft Joe Burrow. He will be on some of my teams. I'm excited for him and Chase this season and for T. Higgins and the rise of Jermaine Burton, which we'll probably be talking about later. This is your second team, Justin. Should he be in the top 8?
When Joe Burrow is healthy, he is elite. He's a top 5 quarterback in the league. When you have to worry about whether or not he's going to play the full season, that does make you worry. If I had to pick somebody to go onto this list to overtake Joe Burrow, even just at the quarterback position, I'd probably be looking at Jordan Love, maybe even probably Jordan Love. Other than that, I mean, like that's the thing about the NFC and AFC North. We have some very elite guys, like we said, Lamar, Justin, Amon-Ra, Jamar. But then once you start getting past the 4 or 5 point, these divisions do start to get they start to taper off. There's reasons why you would pass on those guys. The top 4 guys, no problem. If they were on the board when it comes to my pick, I'm drafting them. When you get from 5 to 8, there could be a reason why I go for someone else. And that kind of sucks.
Kind of sucks. That just summed it up. Just kind of sucks. So those are our top players of the NFC and AFC North. This is the positive portion because we are going to get negative. We are. We have to. It's a positivity sandwich. Because listen, we have the studs now, then we have to go to the duds. And then we're going to have a sleeper draft. Not like, oh, these are our sleepers. We're drafting sleepers. Let's start draft this week. So I'm going to make an audible because it's already a little bit late in the show. I don't want to get too negative. We only get to pick 1 dud each. Okay. So pick it wisely. We came with 2. You can tell us the other one.
Okay.
But only go with the 1 and say it with your chest.
3. Okay. And then we can have honorable mentions. Yeah.
We can have your honorable mention, but just go off on one guy. Who wants to start this off? Our duds of the AFC or in NFC North.
You can go, Justin.
Dave, would you like me? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. I
gotta start off spicy. Dang.
Yeah.
Who you picking?
Hopefully my internet doesn't cut out. So I'm gonna go with David Njoku. I know. We all know this. I'm a huge David Njoku fan. Talked about it all last season. Talked about it all this offseason. But if we're talking about the NFC and AFC North, and in standard, just typical redraft format where you have 5, 6, 7 bench spots and it's not a deep bench, I might leave David Njoku off my team this year. And here's the reason. Even though he's ADP 9, ranked tight end 10, I'm leaving him off, and that's strictly because of his quarterback. Deshaun Watson does not really favor David Njoku on that team. If you look at the games where Deshaun Watson played and David Njoku played, Njoku didn't really score. He scored a lot with Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
Dorian Thompson-Robinson. He scored a lot with the other quarterbacks, but with Deshaun Watson, he never got more than 12 points. If you go back to Watson's 3 best years as a Houston Texan, 18, 19, and 20, the highest his tight end ever was tight end 17, and that was Darren Fells. Generally, his tight ends are in the 30s and lower. He doesn't favor the tight end. He's going to go for Amari Cooper. He's going to go for Jerry Jeudy. He's going to go for who else is on that team? Nick Chubb, if he's playing, Jerome Ford, Elijah Moore. He's got other weapons. I don't see him favoring David Njoku, just like he already showed us last year. He's not going to favor David Njoku. So I'm going to leave him off my list this year. I love David Njoku. We all know that. And if Deshaun Watson isn't playing, Jameis Winston comes in, sure, put him on your roster. But I'm leaving him off my roster this year.
Good points. I have no arguments. Dave, you have any arguments?
No, I mean, no, not really, because I don't think I'll have him on any of my teams either, just because of he was inconsistent. He caught fire when Flacco came on, and he was amazing. But he's right. Well, I mean, he wasn't great until that second half of the season. And around that area, I'm probably the guys I'm not thinking of right now that I would probably have.
He won leagues last year with
Joe
I
had him in the league, and he was
like with Joe Flacco. So
he was awesome.
Yeah, it's sad that I have to say this, but if I have a roster that has 10 bench spots, sure, I'll take David Njoku, but I'm going to take a different tight end in a less, because you're only going to take one tight end in a smaller roster. So David Njoku is not the guy I'm taking.
All right. Dave, do you want to go middle, or do you want me to go middle and you want to finish?
I'll go now. I'll let you finish up. I'm gonna go with Zach Moss. I think I don't know what the official depth chart is now, because I've heard it's between him and Chase Brown, and Moss was awesome last year when he played, but he's been average at best his entire career. Last year, nobody saw that coming. Like, let's be honest, that was a shock. I just think he's a blah kind of running back. And even if he does start, I don't know if I expect, these numbers. I mean, I guess we're RB29. He's just a guy that I know I probably won't have any on my team either. I think the upside is limited. I don't think he's a good player. If he's, switch in and out with Chase Brown, that limits his upside also. So maybe he gets lucky and he gets a lot of the goal line work to be relevant, but he's not a guy that I really want on any of my teams, to be honest.
He's a guy that I'm going to end up drafting. He's like my Alexander Madison this year.
Oh, Jesus.
You don't want him. You don't want him, but he's going to end up on your team because I go 0 running back. It's going to be hurtful. It's going to suck. My dud, this is hard for me because I want to go spicy. One's obvious and one's spicy. So should I go? I'll leave it up to you. Should I go spicy or obvious?
Spicy, duh.
I went spicy.
I don't have enough stats on that guy, but I'll just go with my heart. I have a couple stats on this guy. Josh Jacobs. We're going to go Josh Jacobs for the Green Bay Packers. I was talking to an avid Packers fan at work today, and I told him my sleepers, and I told him everything.
Say his name. Say his name's Chris.
His name is Chris. And he did not agree. He kind of didn't agree with me, but did. Kind of like, I don't know. I had good points. So I'll bring it up here. Josh Jacobs is going from a team where he is or was the only weapon. He was Weapon X. Yes, they had Devontae Adams there for a couple of years. I get it. But that offense was revolved around him, where he did nothing but carry the ball 300 bajillion times for 3.2 yards per carry and muscled his way to double-digit games his entire season. Yes, he had a lot of touchdowns that one season. Yes, he's great. He's a great running back who also relied on a lot of targets. Again, because he was, for the most part, the only show in town at certain points of his career. He always starts out slow. He always has like weeks 1 through 3. You're like, what the F is going on? He's not being used. Just a couple of years ago, he was thrown in the Hall of Fame game and started that game. Remember that? Zamir White season where we all thought Zamir White was going to break out.
That was you. Only you.
No, it was a ton of people. Josh Jacobs relies on volume to be fantasy relevant. Let's be honest. He doesn't really have the flashy plays. He's not a burner. He's not someone who's going to wow you on side. He's not going to run for 60-yard runs like CMC. He's just not. It's not going to happen. So it revolves on volume. He's going to an offense that has been in the low 20s. Last year, they were 27th ranked overall in running plays per game. The year before that, they were 20th. And the year before that, they were 29th. They're always in the bottom tier for running plays ran per season because they don't like to run the ball. Now, is that Aaron Rodgers? Justin, you brought that up to me. Is that a lot to do with Aaron Rodgers? Maybe. Most likely. I'm just saying maybe. Jordan Love now is in the same situation. He balls out for 6 games. He demands the most money in the world. You don't think they're going to make him throw to these young receivers out there and make plays? Josh Jacobs is going to be great. Don't get me wrong. He's going to a situation where he has no competition. Marshawn Lloyd's a rookie in a late round pick. No one's going to really rely on him. And we've seen A.J. Dillon. He's a straight up bum. Sorry, I'm not going to be negative. A.J. Dillon's just not of the quite talent tier as a Josh Jacobs. I'll say it that way. Aaron Jones was productive there because he was all those things. He did make plays. He was flashy. He did have those monster games, those 41-point games, the games where he just was runaway speed and can make those plays. He didn't get nearly the target share that Josh Jacobs did. Josh Jacobs demanded, I think, 63 targets per season, whereas Aaron Jones did not. It was a little bit lower. I didn't get to that part of my research. Here's what was really, really telling. Aaron Jones carries per season, his whole lifetime, 168 touches are carries per season. Josh Jacobs' lowest ever in a season is 217, and he missed 2 games. Is he going to get the volume to even become what he was last year, which was barely a top guy? Like, let's be honest, he wasn't up there. He was fine. He was a good running back too. You take his age in account, you take his second contract, going to a new team. It rarely works out for these running backs. You have to be very special, like a LaDainian Tomlinson or, Curtis Martin, someone like that, to change a team that late and to actually produce. We've seen stats on it. We've seen it with our eyes. It just doesn't translate. I don't know, man. I'm kind of weary on Josh Jacobs. Not all of these guys who move teams are going to succeed, and we all think they will. Swift over here looks great. Jacobs over here looks great. There's going to be more failures, and there will be surprises and success, and that's just the reality of it. And Josh Jacobs is a guy who I'm not going to roster because he's not going to get the volume in Green Bay. He's just not. I can't see it happening. They're a pass-happy team. They have a great quarterback with a great receiving core, and they're going to need to score a lot of points to keep up with teams like the Bears are projected to be awesome with their offense. The Detroit Lions, they put up points. They're going to need to keep up.
The Sam Darnold-led Minnesota Vikings?
Yes. The Sam Darnold-led Minnesota Vikings. They're going to be in track meets over there in the North. So that's just my prediction. Josh Jacobs is a dud for me, and I will not be drafting him.
Do we get a rebuttal?
Yeah, you can say I'm stupid and wrong. You can give it to me, baby. Throw it.
I'm not going to say you're stupid and wrong. I am going to say I don't see there's no competition. You talked about that. He's probably more healthier than Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones every year was really, really good. Personally, I didn't see the signing coming out. I thought they should have kept Aaron Jones. I think he's still a really good player. I guess he's got the injury issues, and maybe that's why they switched. I don't know. He got a big contract. He's going to get all of the work, at least for a year or two, I would think. I mean, I don't know why you would pay him not to come there, not to play him. The offense is going to be good. Jordan Love looks like he's a good player. I don't like to admit it, but I mean, he had a good second half. I still think he's got to prove something, but you got a lot of these receivers, but they're all young. I think they are going to try to rely on the run. And I'm not going to say he's going to run for 1,500 yards like he did a couple of years ago, but I think with the amount of touches that he should get all of the majority of the work. Like I said, that's why I think he will be. I don't know if I'll be honest. I'm probably not going to take him at RB12 either, so I probably won't get him really in any leagues, which I'm fine with. But I disagree with him being a dud because I do think he is a high end RB2, where he is in a good offense. He'll get majority of the workload. He's going to get the rush. He's going to get the rushing touchdown. There's no other AJ Dillon, like you said, he sucks. So that's why I think I wouldn't call him a dud. That's my only counter to that. I'm not saying he's going to be awesome because I don't think that, but I just think Aaron Jones was really good. And I think if you put Jacobs in there, they're different kind of players, but they're similar enough to where Jacobs should get the workload to keep him as a solid RB2, in my opinion.
Jacobs, in my opinion, needs double-digit touchdowns to be in the top 12. And if you're drafting him at running back 12, you're drafting him at a ceiling. And maybe I do have ADP baked into my dud, as we all should. Because let's be honest, ADP isn't everything. But when you're sitting down in your league, you do make decisions off of ADP. You do. It's just a fact. You don't want to. You don't need to. You should know who you want to take. But when Dave is sitting there debating over 3 guys, he's not and he knows he wants a guy down here, but he knows he could save him for later because that's how ADP works. So when you're drafting between Josh Jacobs and other guys around him, I'm taking the more for sure thing rather than a guy changing teams late into his career. That's all. So there we go.
I want to rebuttal too.
Okay, you could rebuttal. Come at me. Let's go.
Josh is 26 years old. I think that plays a huge
38.
factor. He's been in the league for literally ever. Josh Jacobs has been in the league forever, and he is 26 years old.
26
a lot of miles on him, but if you look at his stats from weeks 1 through 12, which is before his injury, he missed week 13. He played 14 and then missed the rest of the season. He was RB4 in points, which is pretty. I mean, that's big. If we look at points per game, he drops to RB12 though. So there's some boom games, there's some smaller games. So he scored a lot of points in several of those games, which did help his stats. Will he still produce? That's the real thing, is just like he doesn't really get a lot of involvement in the passing game. He does, but I mean, not a lot. And that was with Las Vegas, and Jordan Love just got a contract for throwing the ball again. He's going to throw the ball, and then we all know A.J. Dillon comes in the goal line scenarios and runs the ball in. So
Josh keeps the goal line. Josh
will keep the goal line.
Josh Jacobs is a monster on the goal line. That's one thing. I roster Josh Jacobs almost every year. I had him last year, and he was awesome. But he also took 27 carries to be awesome. He took 24 carries to be awesome. He can't do it with 12 to 15. It's just impossible for a player like him. And I don't know if Green Bay wants to run an offense like that, because they haven't before. They haven't in a very, very long time. And I don't know if they're going to change their entire scheme just because they go out and get Josh Jacobs.
I mean, why do you go out and pay a guy if you're not going to try to use him?
Why did the Texans give Brock Osweiler $10 bajillion, right?
I mean,
why did Matt Flynn get paid $10 bajillion?
He backed up Peyton Manning.
I'm just saying, teams do a lot of bad things.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this is a bad signing whatsoever. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we don't know why. Why did the Patriots give Nelson Aguilar $8 million a year at one point? What was that? What was the point? I think it was more than that.
Stud?
Yeah, he's a stud. So you get my point. We don't know why these teams pay the players or whatever they do. Le'Veon Bell got paid. Did it work? Was he good?
He was at one point.
Not after he got paid, though, right?
You'll see.
The Jets mismanaged Le'Veon Bell a lot.
The Jets mismanaged.
And don't clickbait this. Don't be commenting. No, I'm not comparing Josh Jacobs to Le'Veon Bell. I'm not, because Josh Jacobs.
So the thumbnail for this clip is going to be Josh Jacobs, and it's going to be Josh's face going.
Yeah.
And can I get that look real quick? Just give me a little still. Okay, and then it'll be like Josh Jacobs, he's a bum, and that's going to be the title of it. And then we're gonna hit, man.
Yeah, all the hate.
The Baker Mayfield 2.0 right here.
I want to turn it around and be positive. So let's get positive. We are going to draft. That's right, draft sleepers. That means no one's safe. You can't just have a guy queued up and go, yeah, this is my guy, and here's why. No, you need to be on your toes. And I got a list of sleepers that I'm going to talk about that I can potentially draft. So this was Dave's idea to do division shows. This was, by the way, everyone listening and watching, Dave came up with this idea. First idea in over 10 years. I'm really happy.
That's a lie. First of all,
can we talk about how much Dave has literally crapped about? Never mind. We're positive over here.
Stuff. Yeah, we're a positive show.
Let's hear it. I want to hear it.
No. You tell us you want to be more involved, and then we tell you what's going to happen. You're like, this is so stupid.
First of all, what part did I say was stupid?
We talked about studs for 2 minutes.
Yeah, studs.
Yeah, first of all, we talked about studs for longer than 2 minutes, and I was gonna trash everybody that needs to know about Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, but I decided not to because I'm in a good mood tonight.
Oh, that's rare. It's rare. So let's get right into it, since this was your idea to have. Yeah, lucky yes. Hopefully next week too. We're gonna go ahead and give you the first pick. Yes, it's linear, Dave, because I make the rules. I want to go second. Justin, you're last. Because I think you're more. You're on Twitter more. You're on Twitter more than all of us.
I'll go last. I want to go last.
No. Oh my god.
Can I get the first pick then?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm not on Twitter. I don't know these sleepers.
You make the rules, remember?
Damn right. As soon as you think you know,
I don't even know any sleepers.
As soon as you think you know the answer, I change the question. Roddy Piper, rest in peace. All right, sleepers number 1. I got, and you're gonna say this is not a sleeper, but I think he is. Jaden Reed, Green Bay Packers, going ADP wide receiver. Yeah. Going ADP wide receiver 35. Wide receiver 35. He's going in the late 7th round. He's a guy that he didn't achieve 1,000 yards. He didn't really flash in the pan. He only had 93 targets overall. These are off the top of my head because I've been practicing this all day. People are going to pick up that magazine that you see at Publix right now, and these casuals, these people that they're heading to their draft. If they're heading to their draft and they go to Publix, they grab the magazine with the Bucks player on it, and they look at the Packers. They go, "Damn, this Jaden Reed guy only had 800 yards last year. He only had 93 targets. Why am I going to draft this guy? This guy's a bum." Because they don't know the whole story of Jaden Reed. Caught on late. He's a late bloomer. I think he's being underdrafted. I think he's going to be a lot better than what he is. And his numbers, if you look at his numbers like a lot of people do, you won't think that. So that's why he's a sleeper.
Cool.
That's why he's a sleeper. I have to defend that super hard.
No, he is. Again, we're clarifying. This is like a roster of like 15 to 16 people, like a standard like casual league where you have like 6 bench spots.
And we can only pick between 8 teams.
Yeah, AFC and the NFC North only. We're not doing any other.
So it's hard.
Any other teams. So.
It's hard. I only have like 10 names listed. I hope I don't get my guys picked.
I did provide an entire sheet for you guys that has every offensive player on the starting on the depth charts. So it's even in the show notes if you want to just click that link.
What's the show note?
I see the show note. I'm on it right now, but I have my own list.
Anyways, so since I'm number 2 here, I'm gonna go with the quarterback that is not gonna be drafted as a starting quarterback, and he should be. Sam Darnold. I will go ahead and take Sam Darnold. He'll be on my bench, but hey, I'll take him for when he starts connecting with Justin Jefferson for the rest of the season, like Dave says.
What a superstar. That's such a great pick.
Dave, make your player. Pick your player, Dave.
No, it was not going to be my first pick.
Justin Jefferson.
Going to go with
TJ Hawkinson.
I think he's a little bit better than a sleeper.
So I've highlighted all of our duds and our studs, so we can't I will tell you that you can't pick that guy.
I'm gonna go with Christian Watson, and I think for most of the same reason that Josh said with Jaden Reed, except that he's been hurt a lot. And listen, I honestly last year I quit on him. I hate him. I'm done with him because of the injuries. He's always hurt, but he's going so late now. Wide receiver 43, I think I saw earlier before the show. I looked it up, and that's what like a wide receiver 4. If he's healthy, it's a big if. I get it, but at that late in the draft, if you can get him and he actually plays, he could win a league. Like that's how talented he is in that offense. He could be the number one guy that you can get, a high end starting caliber player that late in the draft. That's why I think he could be a steal in your drafts, or he could just be another bum. But at that point where you're drafting him, there's not much downside.
I agree. Back to me. I'm just going to go ahead and grab this guy before anyone else does because you scared me, Justin. I thought you were going to snipe me. I'm going to go quarterback as well. This guy will not only not start on your fantasy team this year, he won't even start the season. But I'm putting old Jameis Winston. I believe he will play this year. And I believe you're not going to draft him. You're not going to draft him. But in
that's not a sleeper.
Bull crap because okay.
If he's a sleeper, you're drafting him. If he's somebody you want, you're going to draft him.
I think he's going to win some people leagues when he's playing late. When Deshaun Watson quits or gets hurt or whatever he does. And I believe in Jameis Winston. I do think he will put up better numbers than Joe Flacco. He's going to be this year's Joe Flacco. Hey, I can pick him.
You're right.
If he's in Dynasty right now, and if he's sitting, I doubt he is. You know why he isn't on anyone's waivers in Dynasty? Because I know the same thing. They know exactly what I'm talking about. Huh?
Because of Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, that's why they have him. That's why he's on my list.
And especially if it's a league where you don't have negative points for interceptions, 30 for 30, man. I'll take that all day.
Jameis, baby. Give me that Jameis. Eat them all up.
So it's me now.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a guy that I think everybody in the world forgot about over the last year or so. And this is your boy with the gritty, Mike Gesicki.
Oh, let's go.
Tight end for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Let's go.
I'm taking to Gesicki. Yeah, he really sucked for New England. He even sucked in Miami his last season with Miami. But hey, tight end 9 and tight end 7 with Miami in 2020 and 2021. Now he has the best quarterback he's ever played with. He will be tight end 1 for the Bengals, and I can see him getting a lot of work. It's literally the tight end that they've been needing for a while now.
Yes. All right, Dave.
You know what's funny is I was going to put on my dead list, do not draft any Bengals tight end. I promise you that was one of the things I thought about, but I'll let you have it. I'm going to go with what?
Justin wasn't putting Jameis Winston for me. It was really upsetting me.
Sorry.
I'm going to go with Romo Odunze. And the reason why is because I know Josh in our little chat said, I don't know why anybody would want him. He's not a sleeper. He's not going to play. But when Keenan Allen gets hurt, not if, when Keenan Allen gets hurt, he is talented enough to come in and score a lot of points. That's why if you get him late, you sit him on your bench for a few weeks. By week 4, when Keenan Allen's hamstrings are hurting or whatever it is that always hurts, you got yourself a guy. So
go back to our chat. Go back to the chat and tell me when I said he's not going to be good, or I said
why is Rome on the list? Keenan Allen and DJ Moore there. That's exactly what you said.
I think what I said was he's going to get the JSN treatment, where there's Lockett and DK, and they're a problem for JSN. Where Odunze is going to have the same problem because Keenan Allen, whether you like it or not, you think he's going to get hurt. When's the last time he was hurt for an extended period of time where he missed like 6, 7, 8? Maybe I'm wrong.
He missed some games.
Tell me if I'm wrong, chat. But he freaking was awesome when he plays.
I don't understand the people who think Odunze is going to overtake Keenan and or DJ Moore unless injuries are involved.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's when it's going to happen. He's going to be an injury.
If injuries are involved, okay. But so you're predicting injury. You have the crystal ball. Okay.
Sorry, that was not me.
I have
saying
Keenan Allen's literal history.
Clear,
that's what I have. Keenan Allen's history of injuries.
I have Sam Darnold's history of life.
You're right, and that's absolutely possible. I even said that. That's 100% possible. There's definitely a chance that happens.
That was a quote that I read from Josh Kimmel, OUS.
That's what I said.
In our text.
Thank you for having my back.
No, I don't know. And to be a completely different person here, Keenan Allen's going to be the slot receiver. We all know that, right? Like Odunze is going to be the X or the Y.
And if they run about 3 receiver sets, that's another thing. You're right. Like, he can get out there.
I'm telling you right now,
Odunze is going to play.
He's going to play. He's going to be fine, but it's going to be hard for him to overcome. JSN played. He had over 100 targets.
JSN was a decent player even last year. He was an
and I'm saying Odunze. I'm expecting that from Odunze. I'm expecting
that's probably true. And then if Allen gets hurt or more, whoever, then he gets in there and plays even better.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I teed up something for you like maybe 5 minutes ago, and I just realized that I teed it up for you. I literally clowned you for crystal balling injuries when I picked Jameis Winston. Crystal balling injuries. So you're welcome for teeing that up. You can. Never mind. Over your head.
First of all, Winston. What about Winston? Watson? No, Watson's gonna get hurt if anything, or who knows, suspended again.
All right,
suspended again. All right, next. All right. My last pick for sleepers. This is a man people forgot about, and this is why you don't pay attention to 6-game streaks at the end of the season. Tyler Higbee or anyone else you want.
Jaden
Reed. Jerry Jeudy,
Justin Fields, Jerry Jeudy. He did that. People were telling me last year, Jeudy, he went off a streak for 6 games. Elijah Moore. Remember that year? When he went bananas?
It wasn't Jerry Jeudy. It was going to be Elijah Moore. I knew it.
But everyone, like, whenever someone goes up, Trey McBride, he's another one I'm scared of. I love Trey, but they all go nuts for the last 6-7 games of the season. That was just so good. We all thought Elijah Moore was the second coming of Jesus Christ, and I bought into it, and I still am, baby. I want Elijah Moore this season. He's cheap. He's free. You can literally take him in the last round and throw him away if he doesn't succeed. That's why Elijah Moore, I believe. Did I steal him from anybody?
No. My last sleeper here, I'm trying to decide if this is too big of a sleeper because I'm questioning whether people are going to draft him, but I would be fine drafting him in the last round. And we all picked a Packers wide receiver, so I get to pick one too. Datavian Wicks. Everybody that I've been hearing from Packers camp is Datavian Wicks is going to be that guy. He's the next Packers wide receiver. Again, it's kind of a crapshoot with the Packers offense. Is it Watson? Is it Dobbs? Is it Reed? Is it Wicks? Is it Musgrave? Is it just going to be Josh Jacobs? Like, who is it going to be? And my sleeper for the Packers offense would be Datavian Wicks.
hot take. I think Wicks is better than Dobbs. I thought that last year too when he was playing. Every time I saw Wicks play, I'm like, God,
He killed
good.
it. Wicks killed it at the end of the season. It was great.
Yeah.
And that's
All right,
why
Dave.
he's going to win me some leagues.
Take us home, Dave.
All right, I'm going to go with Jermaine Burton, the wide receiver. Isn't it Jermaine, right? It's Jermaine?
Never heard
From
of
the
him.
Bengals,
Who's that?
because T. Higgins is a bum, and he'll probably get hurt again or something. Who knows? So this is another one contingent on probably an injury, because I do like T. Higgins. I do like Jamar Chase. But there's some, hype around Burton.
Here,
So
Never heard of him.
see, the thing is, like, to be like good fantasy players could go out and draft the best team in the world, but great fantasy players know history of how players play, how many games they play, who gets injured the most, and then they go and get those handcuffs, they go get those backups, and that's what wins you leagues at the end of the season.
There you go.
And we all factored in an injury, so
We all did. And
Or
guess
two.
what that's what we all did. We all had a successful show. It was fun. We talked about the North, talked about the AFC and NFC. What are we doing next week? Because I don't see it here. Are we doing some South action?
South.
We're going to do the AFC and AFC and NFC South, talk about some Buccaneers, talk about some Colts. It's going to be a fun time. We'll have another draft. I think we should do the sleeper drafts every single time. So we're always going to draft sleepers. That's fun because that's what we do here. Make sure you go ahead and follow us on Instagram, TikToks, Twitters, YouTubes. Hey, thanks for subscribing, everybody. Guys, we're out of here. Peace out.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you watch or listen to podcasts. Follow on X and Instagram at OUSFFPOD. We'll be back next week for more ways to win your league.